So, da sind wir zum 4. Male zum Stanley Parable Super Deluxe irgendwas Gedönse oder auch Stanley Parable 2. Das Spiel hat gleich wieder begonnen mit wieder was Neuem, und zwar hat er mich diesmal nicht nach der Zeit gefragt, beziehungsweise er hat schon gefragt, aber hat dann gesagt, ja, Zeit gibt's ja gar nicht und eigentlich spielt es ja auch gar keine Rolle. Und was weiß man überhaupt über jemanden, und dass er alle Daten über mich jetzt schon gesammelt hat und dass es ja gar keine Rolle mehr spielt, was für Daten noch gesammelt werden können. Und dass ich ihn jetzt beim nächsten Spielstart nicht mehr antreffen werde. Ihn oder sie, wer auch immer das ist, der da mit mir redet. Und hat dann aber gesagt, dass er noch eine letzte Einstellung noch hat. Und diese Einstellung entscheidet quasi darüber, ob wir uns nochmal finden oder nicht. Und das ist hier der Epilog. Den weiß ich jetzt ehrlich gesagt nicht, ob ich den schon starten möchte oder nicht. Aber ich glaube, ich starte ihn jetzt mal, weil ich nicht weiß, ob er das nächste Mal wieder erscheint. Statt das Spiel weiter zu spielen. Machen wir erstmal den Epilog. Ich hoffe, ihr habt alle einen schönen Tag. Bei uns ist es relativ sonnig, nicht warm, so 15 Grad, aber ganz angenehm eigentlich. Also so kann man gut rausgehen. Ist relativ schön. Ich hoffe, so ist das Wetter bei euch auch. Genug vom Smalltalk, es juckt sowieso keinen Menschen. Und wir starten den Epilog. Mehr Einleitung mache ich heute nicht. Wir haben uns erst vor ein paar Stunden gesehen, also brauchen wir auch nicht mehr machen. So, Epilog. Epilog. Viele, viele Jahre später. Und ich bin wieder in der Wüste. Da, wo wir schon mal waren. Vorgestern? Oder gestern? Ich weiß es ehrlich gesagt nicht mehr genau. Aber es ist eine sehr schöne Wüste. Ist bestimmt spannend, was man hier so alles machen kann. Oh. Aha. Ein Stuhl und ein Holz. Okay. Wir wärmen uns. Oh, schön. Sehr romantisch. Und schon haben wir ein Titelbild für das heutige Video. Oh, Sandsturm. I need to take cover. Leute, Schreibtischstühle. Sonnenaufgang. Selbst eine Wüste hat irgendwas Schönes. Aha, Ruinen. Das ist doch unser Memory-Häuschen. Das war das Tor, wo man durchgegangen ist. Na, kicken wir mal, was man da so hängt. Ich mag so kaputte Sachen irgendwie, ich weiß auch nicht. Das gefällt mir. Das ist nicht wirklich Endzeitstimmung, sondern so mystisch. Ganz mystisch. Cookie Nines Blog. Rezension der Stanley Parable 2. Wie viele anderen hat das originale Stanley Parable viel Spaß gemacht, was unterstreicht, wie sehr mich die Fortsetzung enttäuscht. Auch das erste Spiel von Originalität, nur so strotzte es Stanley Parable 2 öde, uninspiriert und eine Beleidigung für alle Fans. Anstatt das auszubauen, was das erste Spiel unterhaltsam gemacht hat, schwenkt die Fortsetzung in Bereiche ab, nach denen niemand gefragt hat. Ein unendlich tiefes Loch. Wen juckt's? Wo sind die neuen Enden? Was ist mit dem unterhaltsamen Feature von The Stanley Parable 1, wie der Abenteuerlinie? Stattdessen bekommen wir eine uninspirierte Nebenaufgabe, Figuren sammeln. Sammeln? Da fehlt ein L. Selbst dieser Zeitvertreib fühlt sich unvollständig an. Wenn man alle Figuren sammelt, bekommt man gar nichts vermutlich. Ja, Cookie 9 war kein Fan vom ersten Teil und haben wir ja schon festgestellt und jetzt auf einmal lobt er den ersten Teil und ist kein Fan vom zweiten Teil. Naja, was haben wir hier noch? Cat Dog Born. Scientists confirm hybrid species. Ja, denkt mir erstmal, wäre ganz süß. Aber eigentlich nicht. Das arme Viech. Gab doch so eine Zeichentrickserie, Cat Dog. Knöpfe. Jim. 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 Stanley Parable Entwickler. Keine weiteren Spin-offs, keine weiteren Fortsetzungen. Als The Stanley Parable 2013 mit großem Erfolg auf den Markt kam, planten die Macher ein ganzes Franchise daraus zu machen. Aber wie in der heutigen Pressemitteilung erläutert wurde, haben die katastrophalen Verkäufe und schlechte Kritiken von The Stanley Parable 2 die Entwickler dazu veranlasst, ihre Ambitionen neu zu überdenken. Es ist offensichtlich, dass die Fans nicht noch mehr von The Stanley Parable wollen, heißt es in der Pressemitteilung. Wir dachten, dass unsere Vision der Serie bei den Spielern Begeisterung auslösen würde. Doch es hat sich herausgestellt, dass das bei weitem nicht der Fall ist. Weiterhin wird in der Pressemitteilung das Versprechen gegeben, die künstlerische Integrität des Originalspiels zu wahren und die Fans nicht weiter mit unseren waghalsigen und beleidigenden kreativen Visionen zu belästigen. Das Wort Entschuldigung taucht in der Pressemitteilung über 25 Mal auf. Hey! Nicht kritisiert ist gutes Spiel. Sign up for Updates. Subscribe. 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 Okay. Ich will nicht subscriben.
Jim. Jim. Jim.
Jim, 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 Jim.
Jim. Stanley.
Oh, Stanley.
Jim. Jim. Stanley.
Was haben wir hier? Aha. Vermutlich die Entwickler oder so? Maybe.
Jim. 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 Jim.
Wenn das Ding meinen Namen sagen würde, würde ich jetzt echt ausrasten. Das wäre creepy. Ach, die Stanley Figurines. Wir sammeln sie. Klar. Hör damit. Zap, zap. Um der alten Zeiten willen. Nicht, dass irgendwas passieren würde, aber hey. Es geht um das Prinzip. Und ja, jetzt wird's wieder creepy. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Und ein Arbeitsplatz. Oh. Hallo nochmal, da ist er wieder. Hallo. Hab dich vermisst. Schön, dich zu sehen. Schön, dich zu sehen. Aber wie schrecklich zu erfahren, dass es nie wieder ein Stanley Parable Spiel geben wird. Hast du gelesen, was die Entwickler gesagt haben? Die Integrität der Serie wahren? So ein Quatsch. Das Stanley Parable ist nicht heilig. Wir müssen es nicht schützen. Kunst muss man immer bis zu einem gewissen Grad schützen. Aber ich weiß, was er meint. Zum Teufel mit dem Vermächtnis. Machen wir weiter Stanley Parable Spiele, bis die Sonne explodiert. Fahren wir die Serie voll gegen die Wand, ziehen wir sie durch den Dreck hin und her. Und wenn die Leute es hassen, wen juckt's? Schau, das war das Problem des Erzählers. Er war besessen davon, was andere über seine Arbeit dachten. Mach nicht denselben Fehler. Klammer dich nicht ans Vermächtnis. Lass es brennen. Es ist nicht schwer. Hier, ich zeig's dir. Zusammen machen wir The Stanley Parable 3. Es ist ganz leicht. Wir müssen nur die Zahl auf dem Titelbildschirm ändern. Und wir brauchen einen richtig dämlichen Untertitel für das Spiel. Irgendwas Lautes und Protziges. Na los, kombiniere irgendwelche zufälligen Wörter zu einem neuen Titel für unser Spiel. Haha! Der Herr der, weil ich großer Fan von der Herr der bin. Der Herr der Schreie. Das klingt doch gut. Der Herr der Schreie. Affen? Sternschnuppen? Schreie. Flucht? Nein, Herr der Schreie, das klingt gut. Stanley Parable 3, der Herr der Schreie. Es ist absurd, ich liebe es. Immer wenn du das Spiel neu startest, erhöhen wir die Zeile Fortsetzung um 1 und dann wählen wir einen neuen Untertitel. So wird das Stanley Parable niemals enden. Und im Spiel selbst ändert sich auch nichts, wenn du das machst. Neue Inhalte hinzufügen hört sich nach Arbeit an. Das ist nicht nötig. Es sollen einfach immer dieselben Inhalte sein. Immer wieder neu verwertet mit einem neuen Titelbildschirm. Was meinst du? Sollen wir mit diesem Plan weitermachen? Mir gefällt er, aber ich will, dass du auch mitredest. Machen wir es. Gut, dann ist entschieden. Eine neue Fortsetzung. Immer wenn du das Spiel startest. Und weißt du was? Weil du an meine Idee glaubst, will ich dir auch etwas geben. Weißt du, mir ist aufgefallen, dass der Erzähler nie einen Weg gefunden hat, dir die kaputte Trophäe zu verleihen. Stimmt's? Natürlich nicht. Ich hätte es auch nicht erwartet, dass er wüsste wie. Das hat mich die ganze Zeit geärgert. Bringen wir es in Ordnung. So, das war's. Die Trophäenmaschine ist repariert. Siehst du, ich bin auf deiner Seite. Wir sitzen im selben Boot. Wir werden diese Räder in Bewegung halten. Das Stanley Parable kann nicht enden. Es kann sich nur für spiralförmig in sich selbst hineindrehen. Endlos. Ich muss das Rad am Laufen halten. Ich bin bereit. Bist du bereit? Toll. Wir müssen nur noch eine letzte Sache machen. Bitte gib die aktuelle Zeit an. Und wir haben... PM. PM. Was war das jetzt? Ich habe immer die korrekte Zeit eingegeben, also mache ich es auch jetzt. Bitte passe in Regel so an, dass der Computer gerade noch sichtbar ist. Vielen Dank. Viel Spaß mit The Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable 3, der Herr der Schreie. Okay, warum nicht? Aber die Musik ist schön. Okay, gut. Machen wir uns auf zu den letzten Enden. Und er hat die Maschine repariert.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Ich muss nachgucken, wie wir an die Maschine gekommen sind.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons.
Credits und so dann waren.
Orders
Diese
came to
große
him
weiße
through a
Raum.
monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Kennen wir jetzt ja alle schon. Okay, dann, wie sind wir da hingekommen? Ich glaube, wir sind da, ja, wir sind ohne Eimer, wir sind kurz vor dem Ende links abgebogen zum Ausgang und sind dann nicht, aber nicht mit dem Eimer. Ich glaube, so sind wir zu den Credits gekommen. Und ich glaube, bei den Credits war dann...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New Content. Die Tür ist schon wieder offen. Da waren wir auch schon mal. Ah, oder war es das? Das war der New Content. Das kann natürlich gut sein, dass es hier war. Oh. Sorry, kann ich ans Telefon gehen. Kann ich mitten im Stream jetzt abbrechen, das geht nicht. Das ist unhöflich. Für meine Fans, weißt du? Für meine 0,01 Fans. Und die 0,01 ist mein linker großer C. Der da. Ich glaube hier. Wir chatten.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark,
manchmal
and
nicht
any
cool,
new content for it
Erzähler
should live up to
in
that
seinem eigenen Leben
legacy.
zu
So forget this ultra-deluxe
der einfach nur das
nonsense.
beschreibt, was man
I
gerade
say
macht.
we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
So. Wir sind aber schon bei 3 angekommen. Okay, das kennen wir jetzt alles
Yes,
schon.
you see, Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Button that says the name of the players playing the game. Probieren wir mal den Button, vielleicht funktioniert er jetzt. Ich glaub's aber nicht.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Okay.
Jim.
Oh.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Oh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this person. I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Collectibles. Da, the free, new and easy trophy.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Jetzt sind wir gespannt. Testtrophäe, bitte ignorieren. Trophäe erhalten.
As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... Wait. What
Ta-da!
the hell is going on? You got the trophy?
Tja.
Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure? Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
Okay. Können wir den Hebel nochmal sehen? Ne, der ist jetzt unten, gell? Ne, der schon. Gut. Jetzt, wie kommen wir jetzt hier wieder raus?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Muss ich jetzt nochmal alles durchlaufen? Wir können uns die Trophäe, das Männchen noch mal holen. Dann haben wir nochmal eins. Wenn ich wüsste wo. Der Infinite Hole. Jump Circle. Wo ist denn das Männchen? Collectibles, natürlich. Ich dachte, es steht nur so da, aber klar, da geht's Collectibles. Ah, doch, da. Out of order? Was? Nein. Nein. Okay. Okay, dann laufen wir jetzt einfach noch zum... Aber es gab noch den Raum, den ich nicht betreten konnte. Wo ich jetzt auch nicht mehr genau weiß, wo der war. Oder war das woanders? That's new. Ich glaube, der war hier oben. Genau. Ne, geht immer noch nicht. Das heißt, da könnten wir auch nochmal irgendwie hinkommen. Interesting.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yep. Ready.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly
neu
these
starten,
features
aber ich
will
will
come
nicht. Ich will
together
wissen, ob
as
noch mal
one
was
single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
Sure.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead.
Wir haben schon.
Take a look.
Das ist jetzt Stanley Parable 2. Wir waren aber schon bei 3. Ist es, wenn ich jetzt nochmal den Epilog spiele? Jetzt haben wir ja die Trophäe geholt. Komm, wir machen es jetzt einfach mal. Die ja jetzt nicht arg lang geht, der Epilog. Die hier nur ein paar Minuten. Ausnahmsweise würde auch da wieder der Skip-Button mal ganz gut kommen. Aber wir sind ja schon viele Jahre in die Zukunft geskippt, deswegen wollen wir nicht so viel skippen. Skippen bringt einen nur dazu, dass man das Leben verpasst. Man kann ja nicht das ganze Leben skippen. Das ist so ein bisschen wie in dem Film mit Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler? Doch, Adam Sandler. Wo er ja auch sein ganzes Leben überspringt letzten Endes und dann als nicht alter Mann, aber älterer Mann mittleren Alters quasi auf einmal feststellt, dass er alles verloren, alles vergessen hat, nichts mitbekommen hat, weil er alles geskippt hat. Hips. Hips. Hipsi, hipsi, hips. Sonne entgegen. Irgendwas kitzelt in der Nase. Waren wir ja gerade eben schon mal. Deswegen braucht man nicht auf so viele Sachen achten. Da ist wieder die Meinung von, wie hieß der Fuzzi? Cookie 9, genau. Keine weiteren Spin-offs. Keine Fortsetzung. Keine Figurines. Bin wieder da, Kuppel. Bumm. Gucken, ob wir die Tür noch öffnen können. Hätte mich auch hier gewundert. Nö. So. Oh, hallo nochmal. Schön, dich zu sehen. Schrecklich zu hören, dass nie wieder ein Stanley Parable. Ja, hat man alles schon. Yep. Yep. Stanley Parable 4. Jetzt sind wir nochmal eins weiter gesprungen. Okay, was Neues. Ah, okay, jetzt gibt es nicht mehr der Herde, sondern jetzt machen wir... Ja, eigentlich wäre jetzt die 2, aber in dem Fall machen wir jetzt die Rückkehr der... Raute. Die Rückkehr der Raute, das klingt auch gut und wichtig. Natürlich. Habe ich schon. Okay. Hat sich nichts geändert. Also, dass er jetzt bei der Stanley Parable 4 weitermacht. Gut, brauchen wir wieder die Uhrzeit. Na? Ich ziehe das jetzt durch. So. Gut. Oh. Da steht das Stanley und guckt in den Regen. Da hinten ist seine Frau. Gut. Jetzt aber. Gehen wir zum Ende.
This is the...
Ja, haben wir schon. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here
All
we
of
go.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley
Okay.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he
Jetzt mal
entered the door
überlegen,
on his
müssen wir
left.
nochmal nach rechts. Das Chefding haben wir nochmal gemacht. Ich glaube, rechts haben wir auf... Also mir fällt jetzt gerade nichts weiter ein. Bestimmt haben wir irgendwas vergessen, aber mir fällt jetzt gerade nichts weiter ein. Also laufen wir nach links.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Ja.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So. Oh, wir haben den Eimer
Coming
nicht
to a
mitgenommen.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
Egal.
his boss's office.
Wenn wir jetzt sowieso den nächsten Raum machen, den wir noch nicht kennen, brauchen wir auch mal den Eimer nicht. Zuerst mal den Eimer kennen, dann kurz in die Toilette schauen. Nein, nichts Neues, okay. Hörst du was Neues oder was? Ja, das ist, glaube ich, das hier. Die Tür, geht die noch auf? Nein, die ist zu. Und jetzt sind wir
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
New Age Music, das ist auch.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Bang, bang.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
5 Stunden Spielzeit Minimum, eher ein bisschen mehr, kommen wir jetzt endlich in die Mind Control Facility. Mal schauen, wie es jetzt weitergeht. Ganz neues. Überwachungskamera. Ein Button. Und was steht hier? Ach Gott, kann kein Mensch lesen. Ich glaube, es sind nur Zahlen, oder? Oh. Okay.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Also, das ist doch lit.
You did it.
Also, der muss von den Charts.
You did it. Good job, 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 you did it.
Dankeschön. 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 Okay. Wir sind wieder am Anfang. Kurze Pipi-Pause. Bin gleich wieder da. So. Weiter geht's. Weiter geht's, weiter geht's, weiter geht's. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. La, 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 la.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also erstmal ohne Eimer und dann mit dem Eimer.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Waren die ganzen Bilder eigentlich am Anfang auch drin? Also viele? Ein paar waren, aber waren es so viele? Weiß ich
Yet
nicht.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Geil. Danke, Erzähler. So geht's viel schneller. So. Jetzt aber. Mein Control
Stanley walked
Facility.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Diesmal springen wir nicht runter. Das haben wir jetzt schon, das Ende. Ach, hier könnte man auch runterspringen wahrscheinlich. Gut. Was tun wir hier nur? Wir können gucken, wir können laufen, wir können hocken, wir können stehen und wir können den Knopf drücken.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
Spoiler,
thought to
hier waren wir
himself.
schon mal.
Did he have the
Nur-
strength to find out?
Irgendwo weiter oben. Da waren wir. Aha. Jetzt haben wir verschiedene Computerzeug und ein Kamerasymbol.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building,
Alle werden überwacht.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a
paar wurden
screen.
gefeuert.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place
Da,
where
zum Beispiel
freedom
der fünfte
meant
von oben wurde
nothing.
gefeuert. Wie sieht sein Arbeitsplatz aus? Ja gut, wie jeder andere. Okay. 530 hat ein komisches Smiley gemalt. Oder sowas in der Art. Da ist irgendwas kaputt, da ist die Kamera am Arsch. Das sieht echt aus, als wäre alles ein ganz eigener Bildschirm. Oh, da ist ja ein Bildschirm, der ist nicht, der wechselt nicht. Strange. Very peculiar, don't you think? Okay. Gut. Mehr mal machen als Knöpfe drücken kann ich momentan nicht.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content.
Offline.
Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Naja, wir wissen ja noch nicht mal, was es ist. Und dann sollen wir es zerstören. Großer roter Knopf. Drücken, drücken, drücken. Ah, das kann man drücken. Aber passiert nichts. Na gut, gehen wir mal weiter. Hier passiert irgendwie nichts. So. Mind control, I'm awaiting input. Yes, awaiting input hat man auch
And
schon
when at
mal.
last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Also soll ich es ausschalten? Aber ich könnte es auch einschalten. Aber ich soll es ausschalten. Aber ich könnte es einschalten. Aber wenn ich es ausschalte, dann hat der Erzähler, habe ich das gemacht, was der Erzähler will. Aber ich könnte es einschalten und den Erzähler ärgern. Lasst uns mal Revue passieren lassen. Was haben wir denn die letzten Male immer gemacht? Wir haben uns an den Erzähler gehalten, gemacht, was er gesagt hat und dementsprechend nur einen sehr linearen Teil der Story mitbekommen. Nicht wirklich. Und deswegen würde ich sagen, machen wir es auch nicht. Schalten wir die Mind Control an und schauen, was passiert.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Okay.
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine.
Oh, no.
You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Tja.
Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what
Ich habe den
precious
Schalter hier an der
moments each
Wand.
one of them
Ich habe bunte
is.
Schalter.
More
Guck mal
time to
einfach.
talk about you, about me,
1,
where we're going,
2.
what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway.
I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
Blau.
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
Incorrect.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Das ist eine sehr dunkle Seite des Erzählers jetzt gerade.
It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Good. Goodbye.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
Soll doch explodieren, mir doch egal.
Will you cling desperately
Keine
to
Angst.
frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or
I'm
don't.
not afraid.
It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Boom. Und da sind wir wieder.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, was haben wir jetzt?
When Stanley came to a
kann
set
man
of
in dem
two
Raum was
open
machen oder
doors,
nicht?
he entered the
Bringt es
door on
was,
his left.
da was zu machen? Das ist interessant.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Schalten wir es mal aus. Dann gucken wir, was dann passiert. Ja, guck mal hier.
Here's the door, just go.
Noch schneller, sehr gut. Generator. Versteht mich. Versteht, dass es schnell gehen muss hier. So, peng, peng.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Glühbirne.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Kamera.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Aha.
Stanley's
Diesmal zeigen die Bildschirme sogar was an.
the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Machen sie einfach nur
And
schwarz.
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh. Mal ganz im Sinne des Erzählers, damit er happy ist, schalten wir jetzt das System mal aus.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ist das ein Happy End? Beende das Spiel, Trophäe erhalten. Wir haben das Spiel beendet. Wir haben das Ende gefunden. Und so wieder am Anfang. Never ending story. Okay. Okay. Lass mal überlegen. Den Eimer,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vielleicht macht der Eimer einen Unterschied.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Gehen jetzt mit dem Eimer noch in die Mind Control Facility.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Certainly.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Very good. All I need.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Stanley and the bucket, we're dancing and we're walking. We're going to the mind control facility. Everything is everything.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Cool wäre es, wenn irgendwo so eine Leiche liegen würde oder irgendwas. Das wäre sehr...
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Okay, also Bett auf, passiert einfach nur wieder dasselbe. Vermutlich. Dann geht halt das Ding runter, wir sind frei. So. Zusammen mit dem Bucket. Das andere ist on, da wird wahrscheinlich der Countdown runterlaufen. Aber auf ging schnell. Auf ging schnell, das ist ja gleich vorbei.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness.
Nebenher gucke ich mal, ob ich was rausfinde.
Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening?
Hey.
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
Die Tür geht wieder zu.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least At least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Und wieder am Anfang. Gut. Also, Bucket sorgt dafür, dass wir nicht gehen können. Auch schon mal interessant. Ich raff das hier nicht. Ich will mal was gucken. Aha. Okay. Mhm. Naja, gut, okay. Okay. Ah, 19. 19 Enten gibt's. Viele haben wir wahrscheinlich schon. Das Freedom Ending haben wir. Museums Ending haben wir. Mariella Ending haben wir. Ah, das ist ja cool. Das ist ein neues Ende. Okay.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So. Laut dem Ding hier muss ich da rein und dann aber raus, bevor sich die Tür wieder schließt.
Here's the door.
Ha! Geschafft. Und jetzt wieder zurück. Okay. Oh. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Okay. Der Erzähler sagt nichts. Auf sowas kommt man ja nicht. Einfach für die Tür so zuzumachen. Mhm. Aha. Was haben wir jetzt? You are now leaving. Mhm. Escape Pod Bay. Aufzug funktioniert nicht. Escape Pod ist, wie sagt man, der Fluchtpod, Fluchtkapsel. Fluchtkapsel ist vielleicht das richtige Wort, ja. Wie auf einem Raumschiff, so nach dem Motto. Okay, 757. Merken wir uns mal. Ob wir jetzt hier nur im Kreis laufen. 758. Okay. Einfach nur immer weiter. Sieben, fünf, neun. Escape Pod Launch Bay. So. Escape. Mhm. Okay. Aha. Okay, irgendwas ist anders. Jetzt haben wir hier den
The
Bucket.
bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Aha.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Mhm. Okay, hier waren wir ja schon mal im Aufzug und so, der fährt einfach nur ewig weiter.
Stepping in...
So. Jetzt nochmal. Schauen wir mal, ob es diesmal geht. Jetzt haben wir den Bucket dabei. Mit dem Bucket können wir alles schaffen. Ah, Friend the Bucket. Aber warum der Erzähler jetzt nicht mehr redet, wäre hier ein bisschen Banane. Der regt sich ja gar nicht auf. Vielleicht hat er es gar nicht gemerkt. Wir müssen jetzt halt jedes Ende zweimal spielen. Einmal mit Bucket, einmal ohne Bucket. Bei 780. Moment, jetzt aber bei 755. Oder was? 760? Keine Ahnung. Auf jeden Fall, wenn es wieder eine runde Zahl wird. Oh, higher and higher, baby. Die Tür geht nicht auf. So ist nur der Lauf des Lebens. Oh yeah. It's a stairway to heaven. Gut, was beschrieben ist, ist ein Warning, dass man ohne den Erzähler gar nicht weiter kann. Aber das kann man jetzt halt nicht richtig lesen. Vielleicht ist das gemeint. Einfach nur ein dunkler Flur. Ha? Ah. Mit Bucket. Hey, was ist los? Wir haben den Eimer gehen lassen. Haben nicht mal drüber nachgedacht, in dieses Ding einzusteigen, sondern einfach nur den Eimer reingestellt. Okay, warum nicht? Okay, ich habe noch ein Ende.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself.
Das ist mehr
Minutes?
so ein
Days?
Gag-Ende.
Centuries? Did something
keinen
crucial
Eimer.
happen while my senses were turned?
Mein
He
Eimer ist
made a
weg.
note to be more careful with time from now on.
Mein Eimer. Das wollte ich doch gar nicht. Das ist der Eimer weg.
When
Toll.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Kann ich gar nicht mehr
he
alle
entered
Enden
the
finden.
door on his left.
Wenn ich jetzt den Eimer nochmal brauche, hallo? Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
FA. Sweet FA.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
No explanation for you. I do it because I can.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have
don't care.
thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Ach, das wurde doch mal gesagt. In dem Best
Well,
of.
I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Yes, I can.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay, jetzt scheint nichts mehr zu passieren. Okay. Gut, was haben wir noch? Ah, okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Man kann mir gerne vorwerfen, dass ich jetzt das Ganze google und nachlese. Und ja, das tue ich. Ich lese mir gerade die Enden durch, die ich noch nicht habe. Viele habe ich davon schon, deswegen kann ich die überspringen, aber ein paar halt nicht. Aber das sind Enden, da kommt man nicht drauf. Wie kommt man denn auf sowas? Das ist so sinngemäß, als würde ich sagen, ich versuche diese Tür zu öffnen, 30 Mal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Enden sind es. Und deswegen, da musst du erstmal drauf kommen. Da ich aber diese Enden haben will, weil jedes Ende irgendwie geil ist, machen wir das jetzt. So.
Here's the door, just go.
Das ist das Elevator-Ending. Alles dreht sich um diesen Elevator. Aufzug. Für die nicht so gut Sprecher.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Mhm. Me too. Und ich muss da raus.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Süßer Sarkasmus. Bitterer Sarkasmus vielleicht eher.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Sarkasmus ist was Schönes. Viele Leute mögen keinen Sarkasmus. Ich mag Sarkasmus und ich wende ihn selber sehr gerne an. Und wir gehen wieder hoch.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator.
Yep.
I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
wir müssen jedes Mal kurz ins Office wieder reinlaufen.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office.
It's the boss's office.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process. All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley. Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Er könnte ihn auch einfach abschalten. Ich meine, er ist der Erzähler. Er kann Mauern ziehen und alles Mögliche machen. Aber solange er das nicht tut, bitte. Jetzt sagt er schon gar nichts mehr.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Ah, schön.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Oh, cool.
Okay, the room where we're
Stanley,
holding the press conference
live
should be
on
just
stage.
around the corner here somewhere.
World's healthiest human being. All tricks revealed. How we did it. The pyramids. Life, the guy who went to Mars. Okay.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
World's first sentient machine. Das sieht aus wie die Maschine von Iron Man, der immer redet.
All
To
right,
stage.
are you ready?
Welcome, Stanley.
I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Stanley, me, dad, age 6. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You're too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Break a leg, champ. You're boss. I love the way you ride elevator. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get 'em, Tiger. Break a leg, champ. You're boss. Gleich zweimal. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the apartment building. Die Puppe. Die Schaufensterpuppe, genau. Okay. Puh. Nicht nervös sein. Egal wie viele Menschen da draußen sind, wir sind nicht nervös. Wir sprechen einfach von der Seele. Wir sprechen die Wahrheit. Für das Volk. Für die Menschen. Für alle, die an die Freiheit von Aufzugfahren glauben. Hey. Ja. Ah, du auch hier. Hallo. Ja. Danke. Ja. Thank you very much. Juhu. Ich habe einen Schlaganfall. Und da sind wir wieder. Schön. Das war ein weiteres Ende. Okay. Okay, das haben wir. Okay, haben wir. Okay. Apartment Ending haben wir auch. Das haben wir auch. Sending. True happiness, you can find a part. Ah, okay, ja klar, Hammer. Also wir haben am Anfang wohl schon die ganz komplexen Enden schon alle gemacht. Okay, das hatten mir irgendwie, aber irgendwie auch nicht. Bis zu einem bestimmten Punkt. Ah ja, okay, okay. Wäre andere Version, das ist quasi Stanley. Sorry, jetzt ist gerade langweilig, aber nur damit es wieder spannend wird, okay? Ähm, hier hat er gerade die Stanley Parable Ending, aber vom alten Spiel, vom 2013er Spiel und nicht die Neufassung jetzt. Und da hat sich tatsächlich ein bisschen was geändert. Okay. Hm. Okay. Boah. Also es gibt ein Ende, das werde ich nicht spielen. Das nennt sich Art Ending. Und ihr erinnert euch an das Baby? An die Stelle mit dem Baby, wo das Baby, wo wir durch irgendwelche Türen, ich glaube die blauen und die roten Türen durchgegangen sind. Und dann wir auf einmal vor dem Spiel standen, wo er gesagt hat, wir müssen jetzt quasi dafür sorgen, dass das Baby nicht in das Feuer reinläuft, indem wir einfach nur den Knopf drücken die ganze Zeit, was das Baby zurücksetzt. Wenn wir das 2 Stunden lang machen. 2 Stunden. Ihr erinnert euch an das Geräusch. Das Baby hat die ganze Zeit geweint und der Knopf hat die ganze Zeit net. Richtig fucking nervig. Ich habe das ja keine Minute ausgehalten. Wenn du das 2 Stunden lang machst, dann kommt noch ein Hundewelpe damit dazu. Und dann wird es schwerer. Und wenn du dann nochmal für 2 Stunden das machst, das ist doch krank. Dann kriegt man quasi the essence of divine art Ending. Das ist um Gottes Willen, nein, keine Chance. Niemals. Okay, den haben wir. Ah ja, okay. Ein relativ einfaches Ende.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer.
Okay, da hätte ich
Now
drauf
it's
kommen
even
können.
closer. Here it comes.
Okay. Gut, das ist auch relativ easy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ja, hat auch funktioniert.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure
Yes,
and
very
its
much.
examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Cheers. Das ist ein unsichtbarer Raum. Ich kann mich nicht fortbewegen. Okay, eins der wenigen Orte, wo ich wahrscheinlich das Spiel neu starten muss. Das ist das dritte Mal, glaube ich. Vielleicht das vierte Mal. Also so oft haben wir es noch nicht gemacht. Jetzt sind wir schon wieder hier. Das sieht schon wieder anders aus, der Raum.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow.
Very lucky. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, jetzt konnten wir nicht durch das Fenster durchgehen. Ich glaube, ich habe so das Gefühl, das ist so ein bisschen Zufallsprinzip. Wie das jetzt startet und weitermacht und so weiter. Okay. Jetzt gehen wir mal nochmal zum Broom Closet.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss is...
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Ah, okay, das haben wir auch noch nicht.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There.
Property of Stanley.
Now it's settled. No
Ha.
more debate, no more
Mein Eimer.
discussion.
Mein
Take a
Eimer.
hike, Broom
Mein
Closet,
Eimer.
with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see,
Ha!
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Ja.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket.
Ich glaube aber nicht, dass das mein
There
Bucket
really
ist.
is a wide variety of
Mein Bucket ist
applications for this
weggeflogen.
sticker.
Besenkammer spielt mehr eine Rolle, als ich mir gedacht hätte.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay. Passiert nichts weiter.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Machen einen Neustart. Machen einen Neustart. Weil das alles, was jetzt kommt, haben wir ja schon. Ich habe hier noch ein bisschen was ich noch machen möchte. Es müsste noch einen blauen Raum hier. An dem einen Ende gab es einen blauen Raum, wo wir versehentlich in den Himmel gekommen sind, weil wir hier die Tastatur eingestellt haben. Und dieser blaue Raum ist auch noch ein Ende. Der erscheint aber nur per
Stanley
Zufall.
had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He
Kann man
hoped
jetzt
it
auch das Ja
was.
machen?
He
Kann
hoped
man ja
very
nicht.
much that it was.
Ja.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until
Ja,
he
müssen
heard
wir
this
noch machen.
narration and realized it was part of
Ich
the
hab das
game's
Gefühl, wir werden
design
heute wieder
all
nicht
along.
fertig.
He
Bis
then
jetzt
praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Oh, schöne Musik.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Voll schön. Mit dem Text und so hat es auch wieder was von Monty Python. Und zwar gibt es noch diesen Universe-Song. Whenever life gets you down, Mrs. Brown, and things seem hard or tough, and people are stupid, obnoxious or daft, and you feel that you had quite enough. Just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour. Und so weiter und so weiter. Ich krieg den Text nicht mehr zusammen. Okay, ich glaube, jetzt gibt es nur noch Musik. Also starten wir neu. Blaues Ende. Okay. Jetzt gehen wir nochmal zum Infinite Hole.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it stopped shortly after.
Die Aufkleber sind drauf.
Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Das war gepimpt. Jetzt gehen wir nochmal zum New Content und zum Infinite Hole. Und das Infinite Hole ist auch nochmal ein separates Ending. Zwar muss man da öfters als nur einmal reinspringen.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all... Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Infinite Hole. Where's the Infinite Hole? Collectibles, new trophy. Infinite Hole. Bum, 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 bum.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
There we go.
You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for... You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Eindeutig kürzer.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do.
Sure
and hit
thing.
the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working?
Nope.
You sure?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Ah. Es bewegt sich. Ich wollte gerade schon wieder neu starten. Fühlt sich ein bisschen gerade an wie Hannibal Lecter-mäßig da. Erster Teil, wo man das Mädchen in dem Loch festgehalten wird. Es reibt sich mit der Nation ein. Allerdings. In dritte Perspektive. Oh, nice. Oho. Sehen wir auch mal, wie ich wirklich aussehe, auch von nahem mal. Das Hemd ist nicht so ganz mein Geschmack. Tadam. Tadam. Ich kann aber nicht laufen, schade. Gottes Willen.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space.
Aha. Creepy. Oh. Hundewelpen. Hallo. Oh, das ist süß. Ein Sticker. Jetzt zurück zu den Hundewelpen. Oh. Space. The final frontier. Ägypten. Ja. Ja, da gibt's ja richtig viel Zeug. Okay. Wieder zurück zu den Puppies. Puppies! Oh. Ha, geil! Robot. Steh auf den Kopf. Riesenkopf. Muskel Stanley. Zeichentrick Stanley. Fehler. Papier Stanley. Keine Ahnung, nochmal Papier Stanley und normales Stanley. Wir wollen Roboter Stanley sein.
Stanley? Stanley?
Hallo.
Stanley! Oh good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Okay. Ah, okay. Startet automatisch neu. Jetzt sind wir wieder hier. Okay. Gut. Das haben wir jetzt schon. Brauchen wir nicht nochmal. Blauer Raum. Noch kein blauer Raum. Ich will einen blauen Raum. Okay. Ich habe ein ganz Easter Egg Ending mal gesehen, bevor ich das Spiel überhaupt gespielt habe. Das hätte ich ganz gern, weil das ist ein bisschen komplizierter. Da muss man Sachen aktivieren und machen und tun. Das kriege ich aber aus dem Kopf nicht zusammen. Sorry. Das will ich jetzt aber noch haben. Dann, glaube ich, haben wir tatsächlich die meisten. Ich werde mich da vielleicht nochmal durchlesen und nochmal schlau machen, ob es doch noch was gibt. Und falls ich nochmal welche finde, die interessant sind, mache ich dann vielleicht nochmal einen Stream. Countdown. Code. Ach, hier. Code for Explosion Ending. Stanley Parable Wiki ist das. Ach was, wie geil. Ihr könnt jetzt gerne was anderes noch machen, gell? Also geht mal aufs Klo oder einen Kaffee, telefoniert mit euren Eltern, whatever. Ich muss hier gerade mal suchen. Countdown Ende. Exit Stannis at the two doors. Pick the one on the left. Boss office. Na 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 na. No job set. Okay. Confusion Ende. Okay, nee, das haben wir auch schon. Haben wir auch schon. Also es gibt keine Möglichkeit, den Countdown zu stoppen. Wird hier nochmal explizit gesagt. Es gibt noch ein Ende mit einer Portal Gun. Ah, das ist das, was ich nämlich gesehen hatte. Kann natürlich sein. Ah, okay, ich muss bis zur Adventure Line muss ich quasi machen. Nee, muss ich nicht. Ja, ja, schön, da hast du schon die Portal Gun. Ich will aber wissen, wie man die kriegt. Doch gar nicht wissen. Ich will wissen, wie man die Portal Gun. Portal Gun. How to. Ja gut, das ist auch bloß. Ja, das ist auch nix. Aber das ist wieder für Computer. Ich glaube, das geht nur. Okay, den hab noch was anderes gefunden, aber das gibt's auch nicht mehr in der Ultra Deluxe. Ja gut, ich glaube, also irgendwie glaube ich, wir haben alle Enden. Das ist jetzt leider etwas unspektakulärer, als ich gehofft hatte. Ja. Das Einzige, das kann ich vielleicht noch gucken. Gibt's vielleicht der Ultra Deluxe? Nö. Nö. Wusste ich doch, dass da noch ein dritter drin gesteckt hat. Okay. Ja. Jetzt machen wir es leider relativ unspektakulär.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Das war's.
What could it mean? Stanley
Ich finde
decided to
kein
go to the
weiteres
meeting
Ende mehr.
room. Perhaps he
Außer
had
Enden,
simply
die ich nicht
missed a
spielen
memo.
kann. Und immer
No
irgendwelche
matter how hard
Sachen
Stanley
eingeben
looked,
muss bei
he
Steam
couldn't
und so
find a
Zeug.
trace
Aber
of
jetzt,
his
da ich
co-workers.
kein Computerzocker, sondern Playstation zocke, kann ich das alles nicht. Oder kenne ich das alles auch nicht. Und dementsprechend es bleiben bestimmt noch ein paar Enden, die ich jetzt noch nicht habe. Das kann gut sein. Aber ich weiß sie momentan nicht. Und aus diesem Grunde sind wir jetzt eigentlich durch mit dem Spiel.
When Stanley came to
Es
a
gibt
set
kein
of
Ende
two
in
open
dem
doors,
Sinne.
this was
Das
not the
heißt,
correct way
hier,
to the
das
meeting
ist
room,
das
and Stanley knew
Finale,
it perfectly
Ende.
well.
Das Spiel ist zu
Perhaps he
100%
wanted to
gespielt.
stop
Gibt's
by the
nicht, wird's auch
employee
nicht geben.
lounge first, just to
Denn-
admire it.
Würde auch gar nicht passen zu dem Spiel. Das Spiel soll ja ewig
Truly a
weitergespielt werden.
room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so
Bring uns jetzt noch
bad
ein
at
letztes
following
Mal.
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really?
Yep.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Zero.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ah ja, hier war die Figurine drin. Stanley walked through the red door. Okay.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't
Red
think
door,
we're
yeah.
communicating properly.
Yeah,
Stanley
yeah.
walked
No, I totally get it.
through the
Red
red...
door.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley.
Red door.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
I
don't
do.
let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed
Ja, das
developer
hatten wir auch
textures.
schon.
Is this what you had wanted? Was it
Aber ich
worth
will noch
ruining
tun.
the entire story I had written out specifically
Zu
for
einem
you?
bestimmten Punkt. Ich
Do you
weiß nicht,
not
ob
think I
das
put a lot of time into that?
der richtige Weg
I
ist.
did. And in the end, it was all for nothing.
Pardon.
Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see?
Ah, das blaue.
Vehicles?
Stimmt, die blaue Tür habe ich auch noch
Skill
nicht.
trees?
Ja, die blaue
Work
Ding.
with me. You've given me absolutely
Vielleicht noch
nothing
mal ein
so
paar Mal neu
far.
starten. Vielleicht
Tell you what.
kommt dann diese
Let me
blaue,
take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some
blaue
feedback.
Büro.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Wait a minute.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Der Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Und jetzt sind wir bei den...
In this game,
Genau.
the baby crawls left towards
Ich mach mal meinen
danger.
Sound ein bisschen leiser
You
auf den
click the
Ohren.
button to move him back to the right.
Das wird jetzt
And if he reaches the fire,
sehr
you
unangenehm.
fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting
Ihr
the
müsst leider
demands
hören.
of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course,
Und
the
dieses
message
Spiel
of the game only becomes
soll
clear
jetzt 2
once you've been
Stunden lang
playing it for
spielen.
about 4
2
hours. So
Stunden.
why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your
Also 4 Stunden.
experience.
Nach 2 Stunden wird es schwieriger. Angeblich. So. Manchmal ist es leise. Ich kann ein bisschen ganz Tag spielen. Aber nicht 2 Stunden lang. Alter, ist das nervig. Also für euch. Wirklich. Und das soll man jetzt 2 Stunden lang machen. Und dann kommt der Hund. Und dann nochmal 2 Stunden. Also wirklich 4 Stunden, wortwörtlich. Ich liebe Easter Eggs in Spielen. Ich finde das ja richtig witzig. Aber jetzt lasse ich einmal die Konzentration flöten und das Spiel ist vorbei. Nach 3,5 Stunden oder so ein Schrott. Ja, also ich liebe Easter Eggs. Und prinzipiell sowas ist für krasse Hardcore-Typen, die sowas durchstehen. Ich tu's nicht. Ich kann's nicht. Da habe ich, ne. Also so krasser Zocker bin ich da echt nicht. Ich bin generell kein krasser Zocker. Ich bin einfach ein Hobby-Zocker, der viel zockt, aber vor allem sich nicht mit den Großen messen kann. Ich hör's nur ganz leise. Ich hab's ganz leise gestellt. Mich stört's eigentlich nicht, aber euch. Eigentlich wäre schon witzig, das jetzt einfach nur zu streamen. 2 Stunden oder 4 Stunden lang das nur zu streamen, wie ich das mache. Und auch gar nicht dabei reden. Einfach nur so da sitzen. Was essen? Aber kein Wort reden. Das ist so richtig langweilig, nicht unterhaltsam ist. Das wäre mal ein Stream. Naja, lassen wir es gut sein. Das ist...
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Das ist jetzt übrigens geändert. Da würde ich jetzt theoretisch woanders landen.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Das haben sie jetzt für die Ultra Deluxe Version geändert. Zumindest habe ich das gelesen.
Aha, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there. Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh.
Keine Chance,
Stanley,
dann
what
komm.
a close call. You really wandered off into
Kannst du noch sehen.
that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what
Sports
fun.
ball,
We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Ich werde schneller. Hier. Bonk. 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 Oh. Pfosten.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is
Tor.
it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Ja.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it?
Ja, rein.
Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
More balls. So many balls. Ich fühle mich wie bestimmte
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
sogenannte
You having
Schauspielerin.
fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right.
Eh.
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you'd like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Okay.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Winning.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Cause I'm free falling. Yeah, yeah. I'm free. Free falling. Das ganze Büro ist kaputt. Alt und kaputt. Old and broken. All broken and old. Old and broken. Broken and old. There are empty rooms, and I'm walking quite the way back. Das sieht irgendwie seltsam aus, aber hier waren wir ja schon und deswegen ist alles okay. Wir wissen ja, dass nichts passiert. 427, it's our office. Dum-dum-dum-dum, dum-dum-dum. Blue screen. And we're going back. Back.
I wonder what he found.
Sure.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
There it is. Okay, jetzt starten wir nochmal neu. Einfach nur zu gucken, ob ich irgendwann mal jetzt das blaue Office mal hinbekomme. Das wohl ganz zufällig spawnt. Und es muss dann direkt hier zu sehen sein. Hoffentlich dauert es nicht zu lang. Das ist der andere Raum. Also der andere Flur, der uns direkt zu den zwei Türen bringt, warum auch immer. Aber it's not what we want. We want the blue office. Wir haben es auch schon mal gesehen gehabt. Komm schon. Die anderen Streams waren besser. Die anderen 3 von den letzten Tagen. Da ist mehr passiert. Jetzt ist es nur noch so, dass die letzten Enden rausholen. Aha, das waren wir auch schon mal, jawohl. Aber das Blue Office scheint selten zu sein. Deswegen hatten wir es auch bloß ein einziges Mal. Hm. Ist wieder fast so spannend wie vorhin. Soll ich euch eine Geschichte erzählen, solange das dauert? Es gab mal einen Mann in Peru. Der träumte, er aß seinen Schuh. Er erwachte, oh Schreck, der Schuh, er war weg. Und die Schnürsenkel gleich mit dazu. Ich würde ja gern sagen, das ist von mir, aber es ist nicht von mir. Aber ich finde SpongeBob. So ein Scheiß merkt man sich, gell? Naja. Hier so zu sitzen und einfach nur eure Zeit zu vergeuden, das so ein bisschen passt sehr gut zu diesem Spiel. Ich glaube nicht, dass wir so einfach an die blaue Tür, an das blaue Office kommen.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make...
It takes a lot of humility.
Ah, da haben wir ihn. Ah, cool. Okay, vielleicht war der blaue Eimer wichtig.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Und jetzt? Mit Bucket? Ohne Bucket?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
Whiteboard
Nor
ending.
did it advance the story in any way.
Dark Mode. Ah! Ich kann jetzt immer X drücken und Dark Mode machen.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Ah, schön. Jetzt haben wir das auch.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wilde Hunde im Office.
Stepping in...
So. Jetzt retten wir noch einmal unseren Eimer. Dann beenden wir das Spiel für heute, würde ich sagen. Ich hoffe, das Ende war jetzt nicht zu ätzend und zu lang. Ich meine, das einzig Gute ist, auf YouTube kann man ja das ganze Zeug vorspulen. Man sieht ja dann auf dem Video, wie ich da sitze und auf Sandy starr für ein paar Minuten. Und ja, um dann festzustellen, dass sich halt danach nichts mehr getan hat. Ein paar kleine Enden haben wir noch gefunden. Aber dann war es das auch. Und was ist, wenn ich jetzt da durchgehe? Durch das Fenster. Ah, jetzt komme ich gar nicht durch. Ah, okay. Okay. Jetzt ist es blockiert. Okay. So. You are now leaving. Yes. We are leaving. Gut, dann mache ich doch jetzt schon mal an der Stelle das Outro. Nicht, dass ich in irgendeiner Art und Weise was Professionelles könnte, im Sinne von irgendeine Musik oder ein Bild, so wie viele sehr populäre Streamer. Streamerinnen vor allem. Also ich mag tatsächlich irgendwie die Streamerinnen. Einige davon zumindest mehr, manche auch gar nicht. Aber von den Männern mag ich es irgendwie noch weniger. Von vielen zumindest. Ich gerade überlegen, wen ich ihn leiden kann. Ja, es gibt so vereinzelte, aber ganz wenige und die sind auch weniger erfolgreich. Bei den erfolgreicheren, ich weiß nicht, ist irgendwie nicht mein Fall. Aber es ist ja egal, ist ja ein Meinungsding. Vielleicht sind das total coole Leute, vielleicht habe ich einfach nur ein falsches Gefühl. Bei den Damen habe ich auf jeden Fall eher das Gefühl, dass sie authentischer wirken. Aber man weiß es ja nicht. Ich danke euch auf jeden Fall fürs Zuschauen. Das war Stanley Parable. Wir beenden an der Stelle. Also nachdem wir jetzt den Bucket abgesetzt haben. Und beim nächsten Spiel, das ich finde, nehme ich euch gerne wieder mit. Ich habe jetzt auch, wie heißt die Spielreihe? Until Dawn und so. Da gibt es ja so 3 Teile. Mal abgesehen von Until Dawn gibt es ja noch ein Ding, wo so aus 3 Teilen besteht irgendwie. So eine Collections-Ding habe ich auf jeden Fall jetzt gekauft. Die würde ich tatsächlich auch ganz gerne streamen. Nicht, dass es davon nicht auch schon 1000 Millionen Milliarden Streams gibt. Aber ja, die streame ich wahrscheinlich auch noch. Weiß noch nicht wann, weiß noch nicht wo. Vielleicht finde ich auch noch ein Game vorher, was ich mal wieder streame. Das hat einfach sehr schön gepasst, dieses Stanley-Ding, weil es einfach ein witziges Game ist. Also ich finde es wirklich ganz, ganz toll. Wird prinzipiell auch hoffen, dass die Macher davon nochmal ein ähnliches Spiel machen. Stanley Parable 5, 7, 18, 32, hoch 4. Wurzel aus 9326 oder so. Was auch immer. Ich würde es mir holen und hoffen, dass es nochmal genauso geil ist. Und ganz großes Lob nochmal für die Idee, weil auf sowas muss man einfach kommen. So ein Game. Ich fand es bombastisch. So, und damit verabschiede ich mich jetzt schon mal und lasse jetzt dann noch ablaufen, wie wir den Eimer retten. Ein letztes Mal. Und selber zurückbleiben. Farewell, Stanley.